Rohini Manayan from Global Adjustments, covering most of India. This was recorded on the 15th of April, so as I always say, things may have changed. Hello and welcome back to this latest in our series of interviews with Euros members across the world. It's my great pleasure to introduce you today to Rohini Manayan. You are from Global Adjustments, covering most of India, right?
Yep, we have offices pan-India. We service all through the country.
And tell me, what is, I have spoken to a couple of colleagues in India, but I haven't for a week or so. What's the current situation across the country?
So our lockdown was actually supposed to open up today. We were supposed to be back to work, but our Prime Minister addressed the nation yesterday at 10 a.m. and he's extended the lockdown until the 3rd of May. Wow. So that's how we are right now. But that being said, we did get a notice today that from April 20th, they will ease up a little bit of the restrictions. They're going to segment it into a couple of zones, the red zone, the green zone. So segments in the green zone, which don't have active corona cases, will be opened up, and certain industries of sorts will be opened up. But I don't see any DSP being able to function for the foreseeable time until the lockdown is over.
It's over, really? Okay. So, so that's really interesting. So, did you have any clue until yesterday that this was going to be extended? Did you have a feeling, or did you think, no, we're pretty good to go now?
We did feel that it was going to be extended because, as you know, India is broken up into multiple states, and the central government, while it is the center and they have a lot of power, the states have their own separate government, and the state chief ministers have been voicing their opinion that they feel they aren't able to control the virus just because of our really large population. And the lockdown's definitely helping us make sure we don't go to the spike.
And tell me, so, that's very interesting as well, because again, I've talked to our colleagues in the US and in Germany, and, a very similar situation from state to state. Are the states in India aligned with the same level of lockdown, or are there differences from place to place?
I think there are definitely differences from place to place. There's a couple of governments, state governments, that feel a complete lockdown has to happen because they feel that saving Indian lives is the most important thing. So our Prime Minister has come up with the campaign that says, Jaan bhi, Jahan bhi. That means save lives, but save the economy and save jobs too. So it's going to be a mix of both.
It's a very interesting balancing act. And I think what was so interesting when I was talking to a couple of your colleagues, it's actually brought out a very kind of patriotic side to India, that people seem quite united behind this.
Absolutely. And I think we are doing a good job of it because there are things like, you may have heard of the 9 minutes that we stood with the diyas and the candles on the 5th of April. And that showed solidarity. And it shows that we're all in this together and we're going to fight this together.
It is so interesting that that's the response. And I'm delighted for that. As you know, India is a country very close to my heart, so I'm really pleased that that's working out. How did you suddenly switch from, full operational capacity to all your teams across the country working remotely? Was that difficult? It must have been pretty difficult.
It has been really difficult. The DSP business is on complete work from home, but we are into another service as well. While DSP is our core, we're into facility management as well. So we actually have frontline workers who are in the line of fire, fumigating things, cleaning hospitals, taking care of waste, doing things like that. So about 90% of us is definitely work from home, and the mobility business is part of this. Our teams have been so fantastic. They're available around the clock. They are in touch with all the assignees. They're helping them source things like groceries, medicine, because the expats can't drive in India and it's really difficult. So our team's just been fantastic. We couldn't have done it without them.
That's amazing levels of support. And I guess that means that really that there is a lot to do. If the expats aren't driving, then there's a real need to be able to go and continue any semblance of day-to-day life, going to the shops. So how does that work? Are grocery stores still open, pharmacies, frontline services?
So what the government has done is they've made the timings and the restriction very, very tight. So we can buy groceries right now only from 8:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. So not before or after that. And what the stores are telling us is WhatsApp me your order, and then you come there and there's no cash. We want contactless delivery. So you swipe your card, pick up your groceries and leave. But pharmacies are open round the clock.
Right. Okay. Oh, that's really interesting. And actually, that is incredibly smart of the stores to do that. Funnily enough, our local deli has just implemented the same thing. Call up with your credit card, call up with the order, and it does make their life so much easier. So how are your teams coping? Are they managing to stay positive? I mean, I know it's a huge amount of work they've still got to do.
I think, to be really honest, Dom, I think all of us are facing the same uncertainty. So we're doing the balancing act, because it's hard to balance home and work right now, and everyone's like, what's next? And right now we have told our teams that we are sure that the mobility industry will pick up. It may not pick up in a month or so, but come 3 months, come 6 months, it will pick up. So all our people, their jobs are secure. We've given them that confidence. And the other thing that we are telling our teams is the only way that we are going to survive this is if we can depend on each other and have each other's backs, stretch, go the extra mile. And what we are doing is we chat as a team, we do a face-to-face interaction with all 80 of us on screen, and we look at each other and we chat every morning. And we're all starting to practice meditation, which none of us did before, and it
really
makes such a difference. Yeah.
I used to meditate years ago, and I've started again for the same reason, just to, have a little calm in the day. That's really brilliant. But I mean, and it's a big team, and that's a terrific step to say to them, look, it is going to pick up. Your jobs are assured. That must have been, a wonderful thing to do. And are you getting, is there any support that you can leverage right now from government or anywhere in India?
So actually, the government says they will let us know what the economic policies are, but so far they haven't been very vocal about what it is. I'm sure it will come out, because the stimulus that's been given right now for the economy is really, really low. But I'm sure that they're working out a plan. And what India is very highly dependent on our agrarian economy, and a huge number of people are the daily wage workers. So I think our government is fair in trying to support them first, and then come to medium, small enterprises.
That makes perfect sense. I mean, it has got to be a grassroots, ground up kind of thing, I guess. Yeah. It's just so complicated. I mean, again, you've got the states involved, you've got so many different industries, and India's been going through so much growth over the last couple of decades that, there's a lot of decisions at stake.
But what we are seeing, the positive news for India is that, okay, this may not be politically correct, but we're here to be honest, right? So our newspapers say that a lot of clients are looking to pull operations out of other Southeast Asian countries and come to India. So that is giving us a little bit of positivity. That's keeping us going.
It's going to, I mean, like I said, I've been saying all along that, we've been trying to work on a basis in certain countries. I mean, certainly in the UK, TAD's quite involved with the local DSP relocation network based in Britain, to lobby governments to see the importance of our industry when we all open up again, when our economies all open up. Your service is incredibly valuable to the Indian economy.
We definitely have to. We all have to come together, and we do have to talk to them. But I know that some of the big industries are already approaching the governments, like the real estate industry, the automotive. They are going together. Mobility is a very big industry, but I'm not sure how much our service is acknowledged by the government here. But you make a very good point. We have to bring that up.
It's been very interesting to see the response here in the UK. When this group that's been formed have been approaching members of parliament and lobbyists, people are suddenly saying, wow, we didn't realize how much this adds to the economy and what a stimulus it does bring. And when economies want to grow again, as global growth is going to have to get going pretty quickly.
Absolutely. Yeah. But I think, that being said, our government is so for the Make in India that they will support this.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And I mean, from the point of view of the national feeling, how are people doing?
I think people are they're feeling uncertain, mainly because of the huge economic impact this is having in the country. That's the scariest thing for people across the board. You know, we say in India, touch wood, it hasn't,
Yeah.
the cases haven't really catapulted and it's still in control. And but honestly, overall, I think our people are really happy with the quick and decisive steps our government has taken. It's helping to contain it. And if they do announce a package to help the economy get back to as much form as it can, I think that Indians will be a lot happier.
I think that's absolutely key. And it's very interesting to see at the moment, you know, how it was announced yesterday that Denmark and Austria are both drawing back on their restrictions because they seem to have, you know, leveled the curve. So there is this now big debate about, you know, when do we all do that? When do we risk the virus against, you know, us all getting back to normal?
Yeah. Yeah, I think for us it might take a little longer just because of our population.
And it will in the UK as well, because the cases here have been, you know, been much bigger. It's been so lovely to catch up with you. I'm so sorry we won't see each other in Seville next year.
Yeah.
Next
But
year.
we look forward to coming back to Eura very soon.
Absolutely. And we look forward to seeing you there again. Listen, it's great. I would love to come back to you in a few weeks' time, find out where we are then, and catch up. But in the meantime, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. And thank you for your positivity. It's been lovely to see you.
Thank you so much.
Take
Thank you.
care.
Have a good
Cheers.
day.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.